ought to be recipients of her awesome makeover. And you'll get a chance to meet her, too. Rod the Bod with us. Rod the Bod. Do you watch Green Acres?
I used to watch Green Acres, my friend. I used to.
Do you know that was not Zsa Zsa Gabor in Green Acres? Did you know that?
I think I did know that. That was another lady who was a lot like Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah, her twin.
Her sister or something like that.
Her sister. But, here's what's funny, though, is that Zsa Zsa was the one who was always making appearances. Like, you never saw Ava interviewed very often. And so Zsa Zsa, automatically, when you see Ava, who is her twin, essentially, you would think that was Zsa Zsa who was in Green Acres. I'm trying to make an excuse for getting it wrong.
That's an interesting bit of trivia, man. That's you're on it this early, cold morning.
Yeah, you're not interested. I can tell. You don't care, do you?
Well, you know what? I care about a lot of things. I care more about this electoral college because this has become more of a conversation than I ever dreamed it would be in terms of the presidential election process. So that's where my head is today. Sorry about that disconnect briefly.
Well, I might be wrong again, but this electoral college thing is way overblown. There's nothing that's going to change. There might be one or two of these guys, but Donald Trump's going to be reconfirmed as President of the United States by tonight.
I think it won't be by tonight, but it will be by January the 6th. These electoral college votes across the country today get turned in. They get mailed to the Senate president, which is in fact the vice president, and they get actually opened and either codified or challenged more formally, Jamie, on January the 6th. So we've got a couple of weeks before everything is sort of done. But what's interesting is there are 15 states, including Missouri, that don't have what they call bound electoral college votes. And the reason that this has been intriguing is because I have no doubt that all 10 Missouri electoral college voters are going to cast their ballots for Donald Trump, and they're going to go home. But there are very few people who are not surprised by the fact that these folks have been inundated, these 10 Missourians, because they're in one of the 15 states that don't buy them. These folks have gotten thousands of letters and emails and nasty grams telling them they better, do something different. So I think it's just fascinating that people have actually taken the time, in spite of November the 8th, to harass and malign and attack electoral college voters as if somehow they're going to change their mind or not vote with the popular voter of their state or with their congressional district.
Well, in some cases, threatening them. I mean, and that to me it should be
in many cases threatening them.
Right. That should warrant a civil rights investigation by the Attorney General. But of course, it probably won't. The Justice Department won't go near it. If this were anybody but conservatives, there'd be a civil rights inquiry right away.
Yeah, this is bizarre. I mean, this process is not a new process. The folks who are electoral college folks we're doing what's been done for the last 58 elections. I mean, it's fascinating that people have been threatened and people are writing nasty letters saying you better do this, you better do that. But it's even more interesting because I didn't know until recently. I thought the electoral college vote was tied to the popular vote in every state. And then when you see this list that, there's 15 states where you can be what they call an unfaithful electorate, those folks who live in our state, got targeted far more than folks from the other states that don't have that I guess liberty, if you will. So it's just been fascinating to watch this process play out. And unfortunately, until January the 6th, I think there's still going to be people that are going to try to lobby a petition for folks to deviate from the norm and do something different.
Well, when I say by tonight, we'll know the people who didn't vote for him in the end.
Yeah, if there are any defect,
yeah.
And you're right, there may be one or two. I think there's one or two folks that have said they're going to do it just because maybe they want the attention of the press or the limelight or the national media to come put a microphone in front of them. But by and large, most people are going to vote the way that the electoral process was designed for them to vote, and it will go without a big incident. But there'll be one or two. It's just the nature of people, right?
Well, and what's great about this is that it's created a new election, so to speak, so that when they do turn in their votes and everything else, we can actually, I think, accurately say that Hillary Clinton lost yet again. Yes, yet again. Just one more time. One more defeat is all we need.
It's the most wonderful time in 8 years.
I mean, even though technically it's already been done, but they're setting themselves up for the fact that we'll celebrate yet again.
Yeah,
one more time.
I don't. There's a point where you just say when do people accept the election results on November the 8th? And it was not even close. I mean, you're talking about 306, 307 electoral votes. So even if 1 or 2 or 5 or whatever, you still have the magical 270, which was what this campaign was phrased up to be all about up until November the 8th at basically 10 o'clock when the polls closed. Then it switched back to, the popular vote. But the idea had been, can Donald Trump get to 270? Well, he got to 300 plus, and so he's got a few to spare. So even if there were defectors, it would just be some chatter, some noise in the media, but it would not change the outcome.
This song just becomes fresher every day. We had the recounts, and now we're going to have the Electoral College thing. And I can play this again tomorrow and on through the 6th of January.
And you can play it again on the 6th of January. And then guess what, Jamie? You can play it as loud as you can get it up on January the 20th.
And the 21st. I mean, that's... Yes, and the 21st. All right, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Always good talking to you, man.
Thanks, guys.
At Rodney Boyd, he's the host of Insider Talk. Awesome man. And, yeah, this is what they're doing. They think it's going to be another election, and let's pretend it is, and declare